Okay, so then we kind of come up to our biggest like reveal for our castle park, which is the idea of a whole new land.
That's
Um,
right.
so if you thought that bringing over Expedition Everest from Adventureland was a big thing, or to Adventureland was a big thing, then hold on to your hats and glasses, folks, because we created a whole new land. Hello, and welcome back to If It Were Up to Us, the podcast where we reimagine and redesign the ultimate Disney theme park. I'm Chrissy, and this is my co-host Stephanie.
Hey,
Uh,
hey.
how you doing today, Steph?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing good. It's kind of crazy to think that we've already gone through an entire castle park, and I kind of can't wait to recap it, but it feels like it went too fast.
I agree. How many episodes did we do? Just
I think
three?
this
Four.
is yeah, this is
Four
episode
on
number
that.
5 for us. So yeah, I really did think some of our lands were going to have to be two-parters, but the fact that we were kind of on the same page as much as we were was pretty awesome.
Yes, I agree.
I feel
Same
like
ideas, different placements.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, same ideas and like versions and things. I feel like we should just when you said I agree, I was going to say I feel like we need to have like a recap of all the words or do one of those like word clouds for things, where it says you like have it listen or read something and then how many times you've done something or said something. Um,
A lot.
yeah.
I said I agree a lot. And then I think in the very first episode, I said I'm curious a lot. Um, my husband brought that to my attention. Gotta love husbands for that.
As I sit and listen to these, I realize how many times I say the word and it's a lot.
Um,
Um or like I feel like that's a very someone who grew up in like the 90s, 2000s like.
yeah.
But yeah. So, what before we get into stuff, little girl Gab, what updates do we have? What do we need to talk about? Anything?
I don't know. Did any news, like Disney news, drop in the last?
Yes. Oh, yes. Hollywood Studios and the redesign of like the animation courtyard.
Oh, yes. I forgot
Uh-huh.
about that.
Yeah. I feel like it happened so far ago. Oh my God. I feel like I have a dog hair like right up my nose and it's itching my nose like crazy. So give me a second. I'm so sorry for those of you who are watching. Um, but yes, we had the whole like revamp of Animation Courtyard. And I will probably get into that section of that park when we talk about what that park looks like for us. Because I do think the history in that park and what it used to be is so fascinating to me. But it really is like the first time I think Disney has gone back to an attraction or had kind of gone back to something they did in the past. And honestly, I feel like I want to credit the Disney fans with that. But like it's something that people talked about loving so much, and so I'm excited to see what they do with that space.
I think it makes so much more sense because once they opened Galaxy's Edge, they really probably should have just closed Star
The
Wars
launch
Launch
bay.
Bay.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make any sense for it to be like Chewie and BB-8 and Darth Vader. I guess for Darth Vader, maybe it makes more sense for him to be out there because he doesn't really fit into the Galaxy's Edge story.
Sure.
But I don't know. It just was weird. And I saw a lot of Star Wars fans like super upset about this, and I don't understand why. Number one. Number two, it didn't have a lot of people in it ever. I feel like it was, especially after COVID, because the Little Mermaid show was gone, I feel like not a lot of people went into Animation Courtyard. It didn't get enough foot traffic.
Absolutely.
So maybe I'm excited for it. I think
Yeah.
it's a way better, like, reimagined area this way.
Yeah, I am like looking forward to it so much, and I really am excited about the animation experience. I know that was something, when not to get too much into the details and the history, but when Hollywood Studios was opened, it was an active animation studio. Some of the classics from the 90s, were came out of there. So for them to go back to those roots, I think will be really awesome. And to your point, I think the Star Wars stuff, it's just crazy that there was the launch bay on that side of the park and then Star Tours on the other side of the park. And then this whole immersive Galaxy's Edge land just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited about it.
And what will they do about Star Tours? Why didn't they move that? I'll never understand, I guess, because, I mean, I'm sure it's not easy to move an attraction. Don't get me wrong. I know it's not exactly easy, but that one might not be as hard as it would appear, because, like, it's that vehicle simulator that probably could easily be moved. And easily, I still mean it's probably not that easy, but
yeah,
it's not as hard as moving, like, a roller coaster.
Yeah, I don't know. That is a good question. Maybe if anybody knows, let us know.
I guess you could put Darth Vader over by that, because he appears in one of the versions of that, I believe. Yeah, I think so. He's standing in the X-Wing, like, bay.
Oh, yeah, I think I have seen that. That's Star Tours is one that always makes me nauseous. So, like, I cannot handle the simulator rides at all.
I go back and forth if it makes me nauseous or not. The one time I did it, and I must not have had enough in my stomach, or maybe it was just like water in my stomach, it made me super nauseous. And then I rode it again, I think on this last trip, and it was fine. But sometimes it does. It really messes with me. It's not high on my list of like, I want to do it. I will not wait any length of time to do it either.
So I am kind of the opposite. The first time I did it, we had just had a large lunch. We did it on our honeymoon, and we had just eaten at 50's Prime Time. And, you know, those are, like, really heavy meals. And so, and then we went over and did that, and I was crazy sick afterwards. And so after that, I'm like, I don't really need to do that one again.
Speaking of first-time rides messing you up, first time I rode Rise of the Resistance, we had an Oga's Cantina reservation at 9 a.m., okay? 9 a.m. Because on vacation, it's 5 o'clock all the time.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I had the 2 drinks there, because of course you have to try a couple different ones. I did the fuzzy tauntaun was my first drink.
Mine too, so.
I think the second one might have been like the Outer Rim or something. So we also didn't have anything to eat, because we were staying at a vacation house. We didn't eat breakfast. And there isn't a ton of breakfast options in Hollywood Studios. We were just, like, we had that 9 a.m. reservation, so we were kind of in a rush to get where we were going. Oga's doesn't have, like, great food options, so it's just, like, little snacky things that you don't want at 9 a.m., even though maybe we should have, looking back. And so I was feeling it, because I'm a lightweight when it comes to alcohol, but so we ride. First of all, I cried because my daughter wasn't tall enough to ride it. And my brother and his family didn't go to Oga's with us, and they were supposed to wait so that they could sit with Lindsay or my mom. I forget how we were going to do it, but it turned out my entire family was going to ride the ride, and I was just going to be out there with. And I wanted to ride it with my son the first time and with my husband the first time. So, like, I was upset. It worked out. I ended up riding with them. We've somehow managed. But that ride, when you're a bit tipsy, it's a lot. I actually recommend it. It was a lot of fun, but yeah.
I could see that being a little bit, nauseating. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Those trackless rides for me always, it's hit or miss, like Ratatouille and Runaway Railway. Like, sometimes I'm good and sometimes I'm not good. I think Remy's gets me a little bit more nauseous just because of the, like, 3D elements versus Runaway Railway, but sometimes, man, I don't know what it is about it, but
Runaway Railway will get me at the water scene where you're like, it looks like you're being like, tipped over.
Yes,
It's only happened one time that it's bothered me, but yeah, that sometimes will get me. And you're right, Remy's. I have a hard time with anything 3D. I don't know if it's because I had LASIK, but ever since I had laser eye surgery, I have a really hard time, like, seeing the 3D as it should be seen. I almost like go cross-eyed trying to like get it to look right. And it's weird. So sometimes I struggle. It doesn't make me nauseous, but I get really annoyed because it's supposed to be a part of the ride and I'm like cross-eyed the whole time.
Yeah, I have to just close my eyes on a lot of those. Like, yeah, because I can't do it. So, yeah. Look at us doing a little tangent before we even have our like topic intro. I love it. But yeah, I mean, so other than that, I don't think there's really any other big news that has come out on, the Disney side of things. So we should probably just dive into our recap of our castle park.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
All right. Well, I know you put together the map, so why don't we take a quick break? We'll pull that up and kind of review what we had in the different places, and maybe we'll see if there's anything that we last minute need to change or swap out. So, yeah.
Sounds good.
We should probably just start where we started this castle park at the very beginning. So to kind of review or recap our main street, you first enter kind of the turnstiles, and the first thing that you see is the train station. And we both agreed that we like the Magic Kingdom version of the train station building. So we kept that in our park. And then through there, that like town square hub, or the first hub that you kind of come across, we said we were going to keep like that middle section where the flagpole is from Disneyland because of the trees and the space that it has.
The benches.
And benches galore. So you got your trees and you got your benches. And then we said we were still going to kind of keep that, that pretty much aside from that middle hub, really looking a lot like Disney World. In that hub. So we had the like City Hall for guest services but we did say to that left side we were going to bring the firehouse and Walt's apartment over to our castle.
Yeah, pretty much the left side is going to be Disneyland, yes. And then the right side more Disney World. And then we wanted the Harmony Barbershop. We wanted Disney World's Emporium. Mm-hmm. And then
okay, so then kind of coming around that, we said we'd have I said I wanted the Mad Hatter store for hats and ears kind of on that corner across from the Emporium. And then we said we were bringing over Walt's from Disneyland Paris. So that restaurant kind of for a sit-down option. They're kind of replacing, for those of you who know that town square section of Magic Kingdom, replacing Tony's Town Square with Walt's.
And then we wanted to bring the Walt show with Walt's animatronic over. Did you see pictures of that?
I did see pictures, and I saw a video of it. Loved the thing that like blew my mind, and I don't really know why, is that he's only attached by 1 foot, so he actually takes a step forward. I don't know if you saw the video of it, but he does, like his animatronic, he kind of starts the show, he's leaning back on 1 foot or like leaning back against a desk, and then he stands up and takes a step forward. And I have never really seen Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, so I know that Lincoln stands up, but I don't know if but like the fact that it looks like he takes a step forward is so realistic. It's like mind-blowing to me. But the thing that I did when I was looking at like the animatronic, it does look so much like him, but I think his face is rounder than his face was in real life. Yeah. That's what stood out to me.
I feel the same, and I saw a lot of people making that comment. Some people were being dramatic and saying it's scary and stuff, but he's definitely fuller in the face. And that's probably, people have to realize there's so many little like mechanisms in there that they have to fit in, and it might have been hard to keep his exact face shape. I'm not sure. It is really cool. I want to go and see it really bad.
Me too. But so I think having that Walt Disney story, or the story of, Disneyland there, is something we have to keep year round. So
then I said I wanted to have a lot of those smaller like entrances into the shops like they do in Disneyland. But after we did that episode, I saw somebody's vlog in Paris. There's like a parallel internal, not a tunnel, but like inside section of that runs down Main Street that has a bunch of those shops in it, which we all know it's going to be hot in Texas.
Yeah.
That might be something to consider too, where we could fit some of those little shops in there.
Yeah.
And what a great way of like dispersing crowds too, especially if a parade's going on or anything
Yeah.
like that. So I kind of like the idea of maybe doing that where you wouldn't necessarily see it from like an aerial view. It would just look like buildings, but when you're there, you'd be able to see this tunnel going down.
Yeah.
I think in Paris it's on the right side, but I don't know that for a fact.
Yeah, no, I think when I was looking at the map on the app, yeah, it's almost like, to me it looks like there is a walkway almost on the back side of those shops.
Yeah.
And you can either enter the shops from the back way or from Main Street. Which I thought was so cool, because I do think during a parade, like especially if you're trying to leave the park at like 3 p.m., it's madness. So yeah, I loved that idea.
And then we wanted Carnation Cafe from Disneyland, but want it to be a quick service instead of table service, and that would be the Starbucks location. Did we ever decide on Casey's Corner? I know
don't
neither
think
of us
we
are
did,
like...
and I think we kind of skipped past it, thinking that maybe we would connect Tiana's. But I do think, in fact, I want to say one of our listeners actually brought that up, that they, like, that was their must-do thing, or the thing that they loved there on Main Street. And I could give or take Casey's on any day. Like, it's not a must-do for me. But I do think having that kind of, like, classic Americana food, plus kind of tying into this, like, Walt Disney and Disney history, the whole point, or the whole reason that Walt called a weenie is because he saw how people would train dogs with hot dogs, and get them to do what they want, offering a cut up hot dog as a treat. So, like, it's a weenie. It's a something that motivates you or brings you back, and so I just thought, like, well, we should probably have weenies on Main Street. So
Yeah.
we probably need to keep Casey's Corner.
Yeah. And I don't think, was there anything extra about our Main Street other than that? I don't think so. Except for, as we're pulling into the hub, we realized that we needed to extend it just a little bit to fit enough space to put the restaurant you want to replace the Crystal Palace with.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think we both said, like, having the plaza in there on the right side, to offer that extra, like, seating and,
Yeah, and I
somewhere
kind
else
of
to eat.
liked Disneyland's more because it was larger and more seating. But we said it doesn't necessarily have to have characters if we're going to have characters over at Tiana's place.
Yep, I think that makes the most sense for me. So that kind of wraps up what our Main Street looks like. Just to kind of circle back around, because we did have quite a few discussions around parades and fireworks. Where did we land on parades?
I think didn't we decide on one of them from a foreign park?
Yes, I think we decided, and I can't think of the name of it right now, so I'm going to put it down here. But it was the parade over at Disneyland Paris, I believe, is the one, because it had some of the older characters in it, like Merlin, and then lots of newer characters. Also, the music was just upbeat. So I think we decided that we did like that one better.
And I think we did touch back on how we felt about the nighttime parade. I think we talked about Starlight in a recent episode. I still think we were both kind of in agreement. We wanted the Main Street Electrical Parade instead of that. I also would be down for Paint the Night from Disneyland.
Okay, I was just about to say, I think we may need to change it, because I did watch Paint the Night, which I did not catch the entirety or, like, the thing of, but I did watch it, and I loved it. It is so, like, it isn't just it. I don't know. Maybe for those who were kind of critical of my critique of Starlight, which is like it's just like any other parade with a bunch of lights with the characters on the floats. Like they had other, like the whole the Mack truck
Yeah.
was like amazing.
The coolest thing.
The coolest
And
thing.
we're bringing Cars Land into our
Right.
castle park, so it would make so much sense.
So I feel like maybe we need to change that and say, end all be all, we're bringing in Paint the Night.
Yeah. Okay. I'm in agreement to that.
Okay, great.
I like that. We also, not to like go backwards to Main Street, but we were both like, it has to be hubgrass. Mm-hmm. There has to be more benches. No trees to obstruct your view of the fireworks. And we decided what on fireworks? Was it Happily Ever After that we decided?
So I think we did decide Happily Ever After, with the caveat that if we could change it up and have
periodically,
yes, alternating kind of versions, that would be good. Because I think you and I were both in agreement, and we'll get to this when we talk about our special events at this park, that having enchantment or being able to see two different fireworks show during an after hours party was awesome. So yeah.
And our castle is Shanghai's, but also maybe a mix of the one you see at the beginning of all the Walt Disney. Like maybe we change coloring to match that. But we both really liked the Shanghai castle. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And we did decide that we were going to incorporate a restaurant into the castle. Did we decide on which one?
Well, whose castle was it? Didn't we decide on whose castle it was? Was it Snow White?
Yeah, it might. Yes.
Or
it was Snow. Was it? No, I think it was Snow White because Sleeping Beauty already has a castle. That's right. And Snow White doesn't. And then we were going to like incorporate like her like storytelling. Yes, because then we did talk about when we were talking Fantasyland, I do think we talked about bringing in the Once Upon a Time Adventure and having that be in there as well or nearby there.
Well, maybe we do Artist Point. We just take that out of the Wilderness Lodge and pluck it into, because you could put pretty much anyone into the Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah.
Really.
So.
Yeah, because I had this message to you. I said, because you sent me your picture of you as a little girl at King Stephen's banquet hall, and I said, why the heck was Sleeping Beauty's father in Cinderella Castle? Like, why was that a thing? That makes no sense. Unless, is Cinderella's father's name King Stephen?
No, I don't think so, because I don't think he wasn't a king. Like, he was a nobleman, for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was a king.
So weird.
Yeah. Very weird.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we settled it is Snow White's castle and Artist Point.
Yep, I think, storybook dining in the castle. I love it.
Perfect.
Plus, it celebrates the first, going back to Disney history.
Yeah.
Celebrates the first animated, film. So I love it. Perfect. Okay, so that wraps up like the main street and the hub and the castle. Let's kind of recap Adventureland, or should we kind of flip-flop and recap Tomorrowland first? What do you think?
Well, Tomorrowland we did most recently, so maybe we should just go.
I'm good with that. Yeah, okay, so coming off of Main Street, kind of into the hub, instead of kind of making that like 90-degree right, we said we're going to kind of go past that, and you're almost going to make like a U-turn into our Adventureland. And our Adventureland starts with a Blue Bayou section into and then moves forward into what most people would be more familiar with as Adventureland. We were pulling a lot from the New Orleans Square in Disneyland, with Tiana's Palace kind of being somewhat in the same place as Crystal's palace was or is in Disney World. And then from there we go to Splash Mountain, right?
Tiana's Bayou Adventure, yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And across from that is Haunted Mansion, but it's the facade of Disneyland so that we can keep that theming of like New Orleans and stuff. And I love that we have Tiana's Palace kind of where Crystal Palace is because I think that look of New Orleans buildings fits with Main Street. It kind of will pop right in there. And then we have, moving further in, we have Jungle Cruise. And we said, really, it didn't matter which version of the Jungle Cruise. We liked the facade, or I liked the facade of Disneyland. We kept the Tiki Room from Magic Kingdom across from that. And then Aladdin's kind of area. And then back across next to Jungle Cruise was Indiana Jones. And we said we liked the more up-to-date version from, can't remember where you said now, but Hong Kong.
Yeah, it might be Shanghai. Yeah.
And then, we wanted Tarzan's Treehouse instead of Swiss Family Robinson. Then the big one was that we plucked Expedition Everest from Animal Kingdom and brought it into our Adventureland. And then we also brought over Yak and Yeti to kind of pull that in, make that part a little, cohesive.
Yeah, to bring good food to the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And then Pirates, and that was another one where you wanted a international version of that because it's also more up to date and interactive. And we wanted to put Beak and Barrel inside of it, kind of like the Blue Bayou is in Disneyland, so you could see that as you were going by. And was that pretty much it for that? Or Tortuga Taverns across from that, like where Pecco's Bills is now. We kind of pushed Pirates kind of up across from it where like the Golden Oak Outpost is, that little, it serves randomly beignets. I know it's kind of close to Tiana's, but still.
We did still keep Dole Whip in our parks. So for those of you who are Dole Whip fans, we kept that over at Sunshine Tree Terrace, I think. And so we didn't mess with your Dole Whip. And then also for our Disney Snacks, Disney Park Snacks fans, my ears, we also kept the spring roll cart. And
yes, it's a central thing in our Adventureland. We put it right in the center of the pathway.
So everyone has to stop and can eat there.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I think here's a side tangent for you. How many of the spring roll options have you eaten, and what is your favorite?
I've had the pepperoni, the cheeseburger. I think they had a buffalo one, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. And then they had a Reuben one.
Oh. The
cheeseburger is still my favorite.
Yeah.
100%. We actually make them at home.
Oh, okay. You're gonna send me that recipe. I think the cheeseburger spring roll one is probably my favorite. I do enjoy, me and my pizza. I love pizza. So, the pepperoni one is good too, but yeah, the spring roll and I love the sauce that you get. It's like a burger sauce, fry sauce thing. So, yeah.
Now I'm drooling over spring rolls.
I really want, okay. Perfect. Yeah, so that kind of wraps up our Adventureland. Anything you'd want to change before we move on?
I don't think so. I put together this map, which, by the way, wasn't exactly easy. And if anyone zooms in on this map, things may not be perfectly to scale. I tried my best. But I didn't change much. The only thing I changed from our original is our pathway was absolutely massive, and there was nothing in it, which I mean is fine for getting people by. So I did have to kind of fix that, but no, nothing major that I think I want to change. Did you?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I had anything in Adventureland that I necessarily wanted to move around at all. So okay, so then we kind of come up to our biggest reveal for our castle park, which is the idea of a whole new land.
That's right.
So if you thought that bringing over Expedition Everest from Adventureland was a big thing, or to Adventureland was a big thing, then hold on to your hats and glasses, folks, because we created a whole new land. if you haven't listened to like our Frontierland episode, then you probably should pause and listen to it because one of my favorite discussions, I think. But we decided that there is no longer a need for Liberty Square as it stands, and that Frontierland is just problematic when you're creating the ultimate Disney destination. And it's funny because I was actually looking back to kind of do a little bit of research for this episode, and I was looking at past attractions and like the list of attractions that used to be in Frontierland compared to what is still in Frontierland is like 3 to 1. Like it is crazy how many attractions or things to do have already been removed from that section of the park. So I really do feel like it was for us definitely the time to do it, and honestly is probably only a matter of time before Disney makes that decision themselves. So
yeah, I wonder if there will still be a Frontierland and a Piston Peak, or is that whole area just going to be Piston Peak?
Yeah,
because they took away the shooting range. The only thing country-ish or whatever like Wild West would be Country Bear Musical Jamboree, and I feel like, is it really, I don't know. I'll be wondering what they do once they get Piston Peak rolling.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see if they retheme those buildings at all. That kind of are on that left side moving through. So from the hub, we got rid of Liberty Square. I'm not sad about it. It's fine.
But we kept the buildings, basically. We kept Sleepy Hollow. We kept the building that once held the Hall of Presidents, but I was very adamant that could not stay in this park.
Yeah. Yes,
and we replaced that with Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, because the overall theme is kind of starting at, the start of America, whatever, and like progressing through how we've changed.
Yep. Yeah, we're really looking at the additional 70 years of history that we've had since Frontierland came to be. So when you move into what we've called Yesterland, you start at the creation of, America and kind of work your way through. So then that kind of brings us to our, well, I guess we should say like Haunted Mansion is still relatively where it is in the Magic Kingdom in Florida. But then moving past that, kind of, we're sticking with like that being somewhat early days of American history into kind of the expansion west. So that's where we kept our Big Thunder Mountain. And then we also kept Country Bear Jamboree. What else did we put there? Oh, is that where we said we were going to bring over into did we talk about that we were going to bring over maybe Hoop-de-Doo Review from
we did, yeah,
and put that there as well, and then the big thing for that land is then moving out kind of the idea of that west past the like gold rush westward expansion into this new idea of like automobiles and the Great American Road Trip, and bringing over Cars Land as it stands in Disneyland into this park.
Yep. Just pick up the entire land. We want everything and bring it over.
Yeah, I want the neon lights. I want it all. So.
I wish we had that in Disney.
I know.
I love that area.
It makes me wonder what Piston Peak will look like, because I feel like so much of what Cars is that like, 50s, 60s neon, just like classic Americana. So I don't know. I
don't think it's gonna have neon. I'm not feeling very hopeful.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense if you're thinking like teaming up with national parks. Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna create like a whole new storyline for the Cars characters for this.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah. There's no.
And then maybe there'll be a Cars 4. Maybe they'll make a movie too.
Where the attraction inspires the next movie. And
yeah, the whole land just inspires the the new movie. Yeah. Okay, so that will bring us, and I think what we will do, maybe we will just go back into the hub and walk through the castle. We also said that our park will not have a rope drop stage show because we want our guests to have the ability to walk through the castle first thing in the morning. So there will not be a stage show at rope drop. Rope drop will happen like outside of the park, I think. Like the official like fun stage thing will happen outside the park.
So this actually, then I think the question needs to be asked: do we have extra like magic hours in the morning, or do we go back to the alternating extra magic hours that we had for our guests in our park? What are we thinking? Or early entry versus
didn't they used to have
hours?
both? Like, and you're right, like one day it would be in the morning at the Magic Kingdom, but not also in the evening that same day. It would change. I'd love that. And can it be an hour again? Because like what this half hour crap is just, it's crap.
It is.
So an hour. And I think if they want to keep the whole deluxe guests get 2, then they can do that on a different night. That's fine. Like if they want to give that perk to deluxe guests. I guess if we want to give that perk to the deluxe guest.
I think there is something to be said. I would rather see something for our deluxe guests, like a complimentary fast pass or lightning lane or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
I would love to see something like that being included, to make that more valuable for our guests.
I agree.
So.
Okay, so we are going to walk through the castle and maybe we'll go left first. In our left building is that Once Upon
a Time
Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Once Upon a... See, I kind of got it.
You got it.
The Snow White thingamabob.
Yeah.
And instead of Mickey's Philhar Magic, it's the show that used to be in the Magic Kingdom way back in the day.
Yep. Mickey's musical review.
Okay. Or did we switch that? No, we did. We ended up switching that.
Yeah, we did put it on the
We
right
flipped.
side.
So remember that's on the right side where it is, and the princesses are going to meet on the right side. The left side is where the princesses are meeting on the left side. The musical review is on the right side. Got myself all mixed up.
Just take what we said, but now we're on the right side. Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. Okay, so we'll go past that. Peter Pan is basically where it is in the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World. And we both said we didn't really care which version of Peter Pan's flight.
It's all flying over cardboard, so it don't...
And this area on the left is going to be called, though it is part of Fantasyland, it's going to be called Castle Courtyard. Mm-hmm. And over here, we're also going to have a train station.
Yes.
And we forgot to mention in Adventureland, there was a train station before you would get into the Yesterland when you're moving up that way. But back in Castle Courtyard, we're also going to have like an Alice in Wonderland area. Over here, we're going to bring the ride in from Disneyland. We're going to have Cheshire Cafe, the Mad Tea Party, all of that. And then if you know where Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is in Magic Kingdom, that's exactly where it's staying in our park. But as you're walking where Enchanted Tales of Belle is now your fantasy garden area, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that garden area for the meet and greet of characters, like fantasy characters who are not the princesses. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then moving past that, this would be our fairy tale forest where all of our princesses are going to live. Do you want to tell them about that?
Yeah, so as you kind of come into that, you're going to have Seven Dwarfs Mine Train over there, kind of pretty much where it is in Disney World. Moving past that, then we get up to, let's see. Okay, so then moving past that, we get up to like Rapunzel's forest and her tower, right?
And her bathrooms.
Yes, and her bathrooms because... you know, but yes, so, and then that's where we would have the Rapunzel ride, Rapunzel's like
Rapunzel's
romantic.
Lantern Festival.
Yes, Lantern Festival. Thank you. I was like, it's that romance story. Then we'd also have a Snuggly Duckling over there, as well, right?
And it's going to be our pizza location.
Yes, because
we don't know what they serve in like real life, but in our park, it's going to serve pizza because Pinocchio Village House it doesn't live here anymore.
No. And I need my pizza. So,
that's right.
Yeah. And then we get up to, is that our section where we've got
Gaston's Tavern?
Yes. Gaston's Tavern, and Be Our Guest Restaurant is back there as well. Bell's or the Beast Castle.
No, that is now going to be the ride. The ride from Japan that you get in the cup, right? Yes. I think it's a cup.
Yes.
And then it's so trackless.
Incredible. Yeah.
And then we would get to the Little Mermaid ride. It's a journey. I was going to tell you because Little Mermaid Journey. I don't know. It's
Under the
something.
Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid.
That's what it is. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then so that's going to stay basically where it is in Walt Disney World as well.
Yeah. And it's the same version in Disney World with the queue and all of that. Yep.
Yeah, I love our queue and our facade. They actually nailed that one.
Yep.
That's the one they really nailed. And then we're bringing over Arendelle from Tokyo. Yeah, mm-hmm. Tokyo Disney Sea. Yep. The Arendelle, and that's where our Frozen ride is going to be, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we have a Frozen ride, a Frozen show.
Yes. And we didn't keep, I think it's like Oaken's roller coaster because we felt that was like, we already have Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Mm-hmm. We probably didn't need it. And then Chrissy had the best idea for Toontown. I'm still obsessed with it. I think it's one of the best ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in our Toontown, the circus has come to Toontown. For those Walt Disney World fans who miss Mickey and Minnie's houses and all of that, we're bringing all that back, but we are still keeping some of those circus elements that we love about Storybook Circus. So we are keeping the Dumbo ride with the two different sets of rides that we have like in Magic Kingdom, and also that big top souvenirs, I think that big tent. So you can when you enter into Toontown, you actually go through the circus first, and then you get into Toontown, pretty much how it looks out in Disneyland. So you'll come up. That's where we're putting Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Yes.
And then we'll have Mickey's house, Minnie's house. We'll have Donald and Goofy over there at their like play area, the boat and that. And then instead of having Barnstormer from Walt Disney World, we're going to stick with the Chip and Dale coaster from Disneyland. So. And
the only thing that you didn't want to bring from the Disneyland Toontown was the Roger Rabbit little section. I just feel like because we kind of need that for our circus type thing anyways.
Yep.
Yeah. I really do. I like it so much. I think it's the best way to keep that like storybook circus thing that we have, because I do like that area.
I do too, and I think there's a lot of fun things there, especially for younger kids, but bring me Mickey's house back. I want it.
I don't understand. Why did it have to leave? It is the cutest place to meet Mickey. So that also reminds us that Mickey will not be meeting in Town Square like he does he is only meeting back there. Then that brings us to our Tomorrowland. So we are keeping, if you're coming off the hub, we're keeping the terrace. What's that? Tomorrowland Terrace. Mm-hmm. Because I guess that's a good way to segue. Are we doing dessert parties?
I think we need to do dessert parties. I think it's an added value, plus the reserved like seating area that you get for the fireworks. And it's one of the only other places I think you can get alcohol in the Magic Kingdom. So.
Well, not our part, because we have, didn't we? Oh, no, just Beacon Barrel, which I guess is going to be like how it is. Mm-hmm. So our Tomorrowland, we are keeping, this was one thing I got this comment twice, was that a lot of people did not feel that Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin had a place in Tomorrowland, especially because we have Toy Story Land and Hollywood Studios. or did for our parks. But I kind of explained to Chrissy how I felt about Tomorrowland and what I envision it to be, more of a play on the future, like not factual, this is what the future will be like. It's more like a fantasy of the future, since this is our fantasy park. So it was fine. We are bringing Astro Blasters in from Disneyland. That will be on the left, and on the right, Chrissy wanted to do the Stitch. What was that?
Space
Stitch
Talk with Stitch.
Yeah, kind of like Turtle Talk with Crush, but with Stitch. And we can have those characters because this is just like a fantasy of the future. Space Ranger toy and space alien.
Yeah, a space
Stitch.
experiment alien, yeah.
And we wanted to keep the People Mover, which we said would have to keep Astro Orbiter, but we would add more elevators. And we are keeping the Carousel of Progress, especially because we eliminated the Hall of Presidents, so you need a place to nap. Yep. Even though I do like Carousel of Progress, but it is a great place to take a nap. And then we were doing Autopia from Disneyland, because if people have never ridden that, it has a lot of like cute little space characters on it and stuff. And I thought maybe we could make the cars look more like a hover car.
Yes. I loved that.
I mean, obviously they're not going to be, but maybe one day. And then we are keeping Tron, and we are doing Space Mountain. Did we decide on a specific Space Mountain? I know we talked about them.
Yeah, I think we said we weren't going to stick with Hyperspace Mountain, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we said it was okay to bring in just for the month of May.
Right, yeah.
But not, like, always have it.
And then, and then we also did say that it needs to be easier to get into, because...
Yeah, that's right. So we maybe did want the 2 across ones, but still 2 sets of tracks, that's what I was. And Chrissy and I both are Cosmic Rays fans, so we are keeping Cosmic Rays.
Yeah, I gotta go see my sunny eclipse, you know?
That's right. So I think, did I miss anything for tomorrow?
I don't think so. You got Tron in there, so no, I think we're good.
Which, looking at the scale now, Tron is very tiny on this map. I have it like tinier than Space On, but listen, it had to fit. I could probably make it bigger.
I think it works. It's fine.
Yeah. It's fine.
Everything is fine.
It's fine. We didn't talk that we do want a villain section, so we did put a placeholder for that.
Yes. We did still keep that kind of beyond Big Thunder.
And our train station in Fantasyland would have a pathway to it, and also you could walk between Gaston's and the Beauty and the Beast castle ride. That would be like the dark forest that you would walk by to get back there. Like it would, so you can get from
it would
two
connect.
ways.
It would be another entry point. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at us.
So do we want to... Let's take a quick break. Because I need something to drink, and then we can talk a little bit about the special events and the various tours and things that we might bring to our park.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, so we're back. Let's talk special events at the parks.
Yes.
So I thought we could start with the most soon to come special event season, hence the change of ears. And talk about our Castle Park, like, Halloween things. So, I know out in California, we do have Oogie Boogie Bash as a special event, but that does not take place in the Castle Park. So, we're going to skip that one. We will come back to that when we talk about the park that most closely aligns to the park that does happen in. So first, we'll start with Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So I gotta know, Steph, first, have you been to Not So Scary?
I have.
Okay, me too. What did you think?
I love it.
I do too.
So when I went, they had the old fireworks. They changed that in like 2019, I think, to like a new firework thing. Not a huge change, but the old one didn't have like any projections. It was like old school wishes. It was just they put colors on.
Yes.
And like a little bit of like maybe flame looking stuff, but there was no projections. I think it has projections now, but maybe maybe they just project like designs. I can't remember. And I have to watch that. That's a good idea now. I have to see what it is. But other than that, nothing's changed. Everything is exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah. I also love Mickey's Not So Scary. The first time I went, we actually went without kids. And we did it because we wanted like an extra bit of time in the parks.
Mm-hmm.
And we went thinking like, well, we don't really care about the trick-or-treating or the characters. Like, we're just going to go and ride the rides and get stuff done. And then it turns out we both came home with like 50 pounds of candy because we had so much fun doing that. So, in fact, I remember my husband had to take his bag out and get rid of it because we were overweight at the airport. So, word to the wise, special tip. Don't
be careful with how much candy, because
or pack that in your carry-on. So,
yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is a Halloween party at the Magic Kingdom that is not so scary. It is more fun and humorous than anything. Think Haunted Mansion, like spooky vibes, but it's really all in good humor. There are trick-or-treating spots throughout the park, and for my allergy friends, there are allergy-friendly bags that you can get and treats you can take home as well. There, of course, are so many themed treats that you can purchase. It's crazy. In addition to the trick-or-treat spots where they hand out the free candy. So,
and they just today released the special treats for Mickey's Not So Scary today.
I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, they're out. The foodie guide came out today. I just remember that.
Anything that you were particularly excited about?
I didn't. I just looked at the pictures, so I didn't read any of the descriptions.
Really the only
and
way that I do it too.
And they dropped, they dropped the merch too, like the special merch.
I love that.
Yeah, so you'll have to check that out.
Yeah. So yeah, and then there are some rare characters. Jack and Sally are out, and then our usual favorites are also out, but they're all in their Halloween costumes. So you've got Mickey and Minnie in their Halloween costumes. I don't know. I think Minnie is a witch, and I forget what Mickey is.
Is he a vampire?
He might be a vampire.
I don't remember. I feel like I remember him having like the cape thing in the back. Like
that's what I was gonna say. He's either a vampire or a magician. But
maybe he's a magician.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's what it is.
Is he a magician?
No, he's a magician when you met him at Town Square. But
that's what I was going to say. So maybe that's what we're thinking of and not this. We don't know. We're going to put it right here in the comments. For real.
We're going to look it
up. But yeah, so that's kind of the Halloween thing. It is a separate ticketed event. So you're going to find less crowds than you would on a regular day at Magic Kingdom. And then I think they do have, I can't remember if they have any kind of scary overlays like they do for...
They do. Space Mountain, there are no lights at all. They like make it completely dark. Right. And then they play like really loud Halloween music, I think.
That's right.
And then they used to, I don't know if they do lately, but they used to have actual like costumed pirates in Pirates. Queue, not the ride, but the queue.
Well, so when I was there, they had an actual live person within the ride itself.
Really?
Yeah. So I do, now that you say that, I was like, oh yeah, they did have that. It was on the, okay, Pirates fans, envision this with me. When you're going from the scene where, I want to say it's the scene where they're all like ransacking the town. It might, I don't know if it's the fire one, but there's a bridge. And the only reason I remember this is the guy with the dirty foot is on your left. Yeah. Or on your right. So it's that bridge that you go under after the dirty foot. And whatever is the scene behind that, it was that bridge and he's talking to you on the ride. So yeah.
Cool.
So after that, there are no other special ticketed events that happen at any of the other parks. They do have Halloween like festivals or Halloween themed things that do happen at the other parks, but they're all included in your regular ticket. So Disneyland Paris specifically has the Halloween festival. Like I said, it's during normal operating hours. They have a Mickey's Halloween celebration parade, characters in costume, including like Jack Skellington. They've got treats, like special snacks and stuff. And then I was seeing something new this year. They may also be doing trick-or-treating. But then they also have extended hours on like actual Halloween. So, and then for Shanghai and Hong Kong, I couldn't find any details about this year specifically. But I do know that they have their own kind of, or have in the past had their own kind of like Halloween fall festival themed thing. Probably pretty standard stuff with either a special parade or at least like some characters in some different outfits. But I couldn't find anything specifically. Tokyo has a villain themed parade, a special Halloween fireworks show, and then they also convert their haunted mansion into like a Nightmare Before Christmas type thing, or a Nightmare Holiday that I was seeing. So that kind of takes care of Halloween. And then, but before we wrap up like the special things, I also do want to note, for the fall, if you're not attending a Halloween party, there are still lots of cute fall decorations all down Main Street. The like scarecrow, pumpkin people, the pumpkin Mickey wreaths. So if you're a fan of the fall, and not planning to attend like a Halloween party, you're still going to get a lot of fall vibes from the castle parks. And I think even Disneyland is that way too. There's fall decorations and stuff, even if there's not a nighttime or a after or separate ticketed event. So what are we thinking for Halloween in our park?
I'm thinking we're probably going to have to do Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Okay, I was just going to say, so my question was going to be, do we do a separate ticketed event, or do we have some like normal operating hours type things?
I would like to have the separate ticketed event, but I want the prices to be like they were in like 2018, where it was only like $75.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because they hurt a little bit more nowadays. It's
you almost have to forego a park ticket in exchange for a special event ticket.
Because how easy was it when it was not easy? It's still $75, which is not cheap, but like much easier when we went to it to have our second Magic Kingdom day. We just did a $75 ticket for Mickey's Not So Scary. Yeah, the party starts at 7 p.m., but you can get in at 4 p.m.
Right.
So you have a lot of time. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah, you can do your, sit down dining reservations, early, and then you have the whole party to take care of all the party things. So, yeah, I would love for it to be something we could do, but knowing that we're getting rid of other destinations and this is the one singular destination, I do feel like a separate ticketed event is the way to go in our ultimate park. I think it does. But my thing, I did have a note, my thing around pricing is that I would love to see resort guests get a discount for the special ticket events, especially because they are later into the evening, and so you don't want to be necessarily driving home after that, for our people who are coming from 1 to 2 hours away, and so I feel like that would be something like if you're planning on going to the park, you could get a discount if you are a resort guest. I think that'd be great.
I like that. So, they should do that. Disney?
Mm-hmm. Disney should do that. Mm-hmm. We're going to tag you in this one and give me a discount and I will book a hotel. Plus, I'll spend more money because I'm now staying at a hotel and you know what I mean? Like, it's just...
You'll probably get it, that whatever discount back tenfold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Any other notes around Halloween?
I don't think so. Oh, did we want to change over our Haunted Mansion to the Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yes. Okay. I think so. I think anywhere where we could bring in special overlays, we should be doing it.
Okay.
Especially for our ticketed events. And I'm going to get into that in just a second after I change out my ears to go to Christmas. One moment, please.
It is now Thanksgiving, and now it's Christmas.
Yep. So for those of you who don't remember how heartbroken I was, my little elf heart, when Steph said she wanted to get rid of like Liberty Square and the ornament shop and all of that, it's because I turned into an elf literally like the night.
November 1st?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And if you follow me on social media, you will find me screaming my head off for Santa in the Christmas parade. So sorry.
Okay.
But anyways, so Christmas is my jam. So I have strong opinions about this. Much less than I did around Halloween. So let's dive into Christmas. We'll start with Disneyland. So Disneyland does not have a special ticketed event. I know that was like one of the questions we had when we were first talking about this. Like, does
so that's our answer.
That's our answer. So, but they do celebrate throughout the park, pretty much for the whole month of December, and even before that. So, holiday themed parades, fireworks, overlays. The one thing that did kind of surprise me that I was really kind of excited about and made me want to go back to Disneyland during the holidays, if I didn't want to go back any other time of year, was that they do a special guided tour, for like Disney, like holiday history. So it's a 2-hour guided tour that talks about like it shares Disney family holiday stories. You get reserved viewing for the parade, their Christmas time parade. It does include treats and then also a ride on their holiday overlay. It's a Small World ride. So I thought that was really cool. I would love to do that. Now that we've
that screams you, especially special seating for a parade.
Yeah.
The history.
I love a good parade. I love a good history. Like, can we just do that? So whatever we do, we're bringing that into our park. Regardless of when that happens, that is a special offering, okay? It's happening. Christmas is coming. So that's kind of what they do. And then they do have, just another, like, they do have other holiday events throughout the Disneyland Resort, but we are not talking about those parks, but so don't come at me. We're just talking about our castle park. So then we get into Walt Disney World, Magic Kingdom, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Have you been to this one?
I have.
Yep, me too. What did you think?
I love that one too. That's the one I've been to most recently.
Mm-hmm.
I just, especially because the weather was perfect that night, it was actually not hot in Florida. And so the hot chocolate tasted even better. I love all the little cookies. And the parade. Oh, that parade. I do love that one. I just feel
favorite.
Like that time of year in Walt Disney World is just extra, extra magical. I love it. However, we need to bring back the damn dream lights. Isn't that what they're called?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
What are we doing, Disney?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At Disney, bring back the lights. Thank you.
The ones that like make, because it wasn't even like, it makes it look like the castle has like icicles on it. It was just like frozen glowy sparkle. Like it was
amazing.
Yeah. It wasn't attached to Frozen the movie. It was just Christmas.
I have a picture of me and my husband and my son when he was just a little baby. And he was like 18 months, 20 months, I don't know. We flew down right the day after, so Black Friday, we flew down to Disney and went just for the weekend to do the Christmas party and then flew home the next day. It was amazing. But anyways, I have a picture of us in front of the castle and we're both kissing his cheeks. And those lights are back there.
Okay, I hope you send that to me so I can put it in.
I will. But yeah, no, they have to bring the dang lights back.
Yeah, I'm for that. I also loved the Christmas party. Here's one thing that I really loved about the Christmas party. When you walk in, they give you like an ornament, right? Right off the bat. So you've got your souvenir for the party. Loved that. And then obviously just like the park being all decorated for Christmas. Like I said, it like warms my elf heart. And then the cookies. Oh my God, the cookies. I came home with so many cookies from that party. Like,
I love that they're individually wrapped now. Because like the very first time I went, they weren't. They would just like give you it on
like
a napkin. But now you can take them home with you, which makes
Yeah.
it so much better.
I bought the popcorn bucket specifically. It was
To hold the
like,
cookies?
music box to hold all the cookies.
Oh, I have the music box one too. Did you get that in 2022?
Yep, I did.
Yeah, okay, same.
Yep, sure did. Sure did. And I got that one, and then I put all my cookies in it. So, yeah.
That's a great idea.
Right? It's perfect. It's like it was like my own festive little holiday purse for the event, and then I put all my cookies in it. So, and then I came home with all the cookies, and my son was like, "There's cookies in there? What?" And so now it's no longer, it's a cookie jar in our house. So, and it comes out with all my Christmas decor. Anyways, so for those of you who don't know or haven't figured it out yet, this is a special ticketed event with its own parade, fireworks show, castle show, characters and dance parties, attraction overlays, special treats, cookies, and like hot chocolate beverages are included, which is amazing. Anytime you give me a party and you include food or snacks, I am for it. Speaking of overlays, these were some of my favorite overlays I've seen in the parks. Space Mountain and like the funky kind of electro holiday. It made the ride feel faster, and it was so fun. Loved that. And then Jungle Cruise turns into Jingle Cruise.
Yeah.
And the jokes are holiday themed punny, and I mean, I loved it all. There wasn't a single thing that I was like, oh, I want to, like, I would change or didn't like about this party. So, and then, you know, you can meet Santa and the photo ops, and then it snows on Main Street.
Yes, the Snope.
The Snope.
I love it. I really do. Now you make me want to go and do the Christmas party.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't looking at dates and tickets and figuring out a way to make it happen. Yeah.
Do you need to even go over anything else? Because
I feel like it's, yeah. Here's what I will say. When I was doing the research, Disneyland Paris obviously has their own Christmas thing. It also takes place during regular, like, operating hours. It is not a special ticketed event. You have your musical show and your Christmas parade. They call it Disney's Enchanted Christmas, which I love that title.
Yeah.
And then characters and festive costumes and special treats. I couldn't really find anything specific for Shanghai. I did see that they did do something in 2024 for Hong Kong. But from what I was like looking at on the different like blogs and stuff, it seems like that was their last time they were doing it, and they have not announced something for this year. So if you know otherwise, listeners, please let me know. And then Tokyo did have something out saying that they also kind of ended what they were doing maybe last year. But they are bringing it back in 2025 with brand new theming, entertainment, and entertainment entertainment offerings that have yet to be announced. But they are bringing something back for Christmas out in Tokyo. So, no, I don't think we need to talk about what we're doing for Christmas. I think there is enough happening throughout the parks during the holiday time that we don't necessarily need to make this a general happenings. I think the separate ticketed event makes the most sense.
And I like that Walt Disney World on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day does the party parade during the day.
Yeah.
So that regular paying guests, like day guests, can see it. I think that's awesome. Do they do that for Halloween too? Do they do Boo to You on Halloween?
Do Boo to You on Halloween.
Huh. I'll have to look that up.
I feel like maybe they don't. Because I really do feel like a lot of that maybe is somewhat nighttime focused. Like,
and there's a party on Halloween this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so that takes care of our like holiday themed events or special ticketed events. I'm going to swap my ears back for my snacks, and we can talk about our other special offerings. What do you think?
Yes. I want after hours because I love them. I think that should also be a little bit cheaper. It doesn't have to be a lot cheaper because you do have included bottled beverages, ice cream novelties, soda, or I already said it, but a popcorn. So it doesn't have to be much less. But we did the after hours in 2024. obsessed. I think I said in the episode that you get the 2 fireworks shows. So you got Happily Ever After, which the normal day guests also get to see because your time overlaps. And then Enchantment. And everybody sat for Enchantment.
Yeah.
It was amazing. We loved it. Like, we got so many rides done. I also think it's great to have a party that you're not stressed about also fitting in a parade, fitting in, the stage show, because during the Halloween party and the Christmas party, there's the special stage shows. So I think it's great that you're not trying to fit in so much. And if you've already seen Enchantment, like if I did After Hours again, I probably wouldn't go and sit and watch Enchantment. I would just listen to it from somewhere else and just hit those rides. Because there were even less people in the parks for After Hours than there were for the Halloween and Christmas party.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw up, I did take some photos during the After Hours party that I went to here in March when I went. And I was kind of in the same boat as you. Like, I'd already seen Enchantment. So we actually ended up just pausing to watch it from behind the castle, see the fireworks as we were doing other things. But the crowds, crowds were non-existent. It was crazy. Yeah. So much so that I ended up saying, like, what is a better deal, the After Hours party or the premiere pass for Lightning Lane? And I will keep that for another show, or my opinion on that for another episode. But yeah, I thought 100% After Hours party has to be a thing. I completely agree with you about the not having all those additional offerings to feel like you have to cram it all in, and just being able to do like the rides. I will say the thing that I was a little bummed about was that not all of the lands were open. So, like, for example, Tiana's Bayou was not open during the After Hours party, which I thought was kind of crazy because it's such a, like, newly opened attraction. You would think that would be part of it, but I understand it's all the way back in another land, and they kept you to Fantasyland and Tomorrowland for the party. But yeah, and
you
the only other thing
weren't able to go to the other side of the park. The entire park was open when I did it.
I don't know what it was, but it was not open when. Maybe we could go over there, but the ride was not open.
Yeah, I feel like.
But I know specifically because my mom didn't do it with me. She came, and met me at the parks, and she did not have the Premier Pass, and so I went to do it using the Premier Pass, and then we went to try to go ride it during the party, and it wasn't running.
I think the only ride that wasn't open, there might have been a couple, but I don't believe People Mover was open, and I don't believe Jungle Cruise was opened during the After Hours. Now you make me want to look it up, because I'm like, I remember my family walking in Frontierland, and we were the only people. Well, it was insane.
That's what I'm like the photo that I put up before. Like, it's empty. Tomorrowland was completely empty.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I loved it so much.
And I found, like, there were still a lot of people towards the beginning of the party, and when they started opening up the snack carts and stuff, there were a lot of people in those lines. But it pretty quickly thinned out. From even just party guests, not even just like daytime guests, but party guests. So, while you're kind of looking that up to confirm or deny,
because I need to know.
Yeah, because and it may have just been that the ride was down, because Tron was also down for the entire party.
Okay, so it isn't opened. Hold on. This also says that Big Thunder Mountain is open. It's not even open right now at all. But yeah, it makes me want to do, like, my husband and I looked at each other and said, I feel like we could do a trip where that's the only time we went to the parks. If you could make it so that there was Magic Kingdom After Hours, a break without anything, Hollywood Studios After Hours, a break, Epcot After Hours, I would totally do it. Especially me for Epcot, because I'm not so much worried about all of World Showcase. I go there for the rides. That, boom. That's what I would do. It would be
fun to, like, try to do just a trip where you do only, like, after hours things, or take advantage of, like, the extra magic hours, and like not not have to be in the parks with the crowds. That would be kind of cool.
I feel like we are that family now. Because I think I post about this on my social media as like, we are not a rope drop family anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We used to be back in the day, like especially our first few trips, we were trying to maximize that cost. Like,
Yep.
and the only way to us to maximize that money spent is to do absolutely as much as possible in the parks.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like our Magic Kingdom day on our family trip in February, my daughter had Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. And when we got out, the park was so insanely busy because they were also doing two Festival of Fantasy parades at that time. So there was one at noon, and that's when we got out. And I just wanted to take pictures of her all dolled up in front of the castle, and it was literally insane. And it was the only day of our trip in February that was also hot. And so my husband and I looked at each other because he tried to ride rides with my son. We didn't do lightning lanes that day.
Mm-hmm.
Like looking back now, I wished we would have, but we didn't. And he was only able to ride one ride in the 2 hours that we were doing that. And we both looked at each other and said, we're not doing this. Mm-hmm. Like, we went back to the hotel, the kids swam and stuff. We did Epcot and then went over to have dinner at the Wilderness Lodge, then only went into Magic Kingdom when the fireworks were over and the crowd was gone, and then did late night because I can't do it anymore. Like,
The older I get, the crowds and the heat are, like, suffocating.
Yeah, and I think, worry so much or view it as I'm losing money by being in the park less when you can get so much done in those hours that you would take double the amount of time during a park day. Like, you're still getting the same for your money.
I can agree with that. Okay, so while you look that up, I'll talk a little bit about Disneyland After Dark, which is kind of so these are special ticketed events, but the thing that I was noticing is they're all themed. It's not just an after hours. So this year they had Pride Night, 90s Night, Star Wars Night, and Sweetheart Night, or Sweethearts Night. And so I thought that was really fun. I think that we should do more of these things at Magic Kingdom. And so I would love to incorporate not just the after hours parties into our castle park, but also some of these themed parties. And I'm going to give you a throwback to that because when we went for my senior year of high school, there was a party called Mickey's Pirate and Princess Party. And it was themed strictly to like pirate and princesses. And I think like Disney Legend has it that cast members noticed that so many kids came during the Halloween parties dressed as pirates and as princesses, right? That they thought that this needed its own thing outside of the Halloween parties where kids could come and dress up. And I will tell you that when my mom and my aunt were booking this trip and they booked this party, this was back in the day when you like had to call in to get your like tickets and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they were asking about makeovers for like pirate and princess makeovers that they were doing in the park. And I remember my mom saying to them, well, they're 17 and 8-year-olds or 18-year-olds, so I don't think they're going to want to do that. And I'm like, well, I should have done it. But yeah, so like that was a theme. I think we need to have more fun kind of one-off themed parties.
I love that.
It doesn't have to be as extravagant as like the Christmas party or, but where people can get dressed up or, where they've got just different things kind of happening. I would love that.
Now, would you do a Star Wars theme night in Magic Kingdom, or would you maybe do that in one of our other parks?
I would probably put it in one of our other parks.
Okay. So what themed after hours or what do they call it? After dark.
I would love to bring back the pirate and the princess party.
Okay.
I would love to have like the sweetheart night. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Give me a bunch of 90s nights. Like,
yeah.
Just a whole mess of them. Goofy movie, like bring it back. I would love that. Pride night I think is great.
Yep, I agree.
I'm trying to think like if there are any other like random holidays throughout like the year
Yeah.
um that I would love to see. I don't know. What about you?
I don't know. No, I like that. I think anytime I'm at Disneyland, there are always some sort of after darks happening. The first time was Pride Night. The time we were there, I think, was 90s. We didn't hit it, right? But I think there was 90s
Yeah,
nights.
it like had just happened or something. Yeah.
I love it. And because I love the after hours types things. So I think that's great. And maybe we could come up with some more like themed nights, or even play off of like, because Disney always plays into the year of the snake, year of the cat, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We could even maybe play into that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. So I didn't so much see or really look into after hours parties at the other parks, but I did see that they have that Disneyland has, aside from like the Oogie Boogie Bash that happens over at California Adventure, they do have an art and cultural display for Dia de los Muertos that happens in Frontierland every year. So I would love to see some of that kind of stuff maybe brought into our park. But then at the same point, I also feel like maybe this is something that more closely aligns with our
Epcot.
festival season at Epcot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
if we covered our Magic Kingdom, we reviewed it, we talked about what special events we'd want, we settled on fireworks and parades. Is that a wrap on Magic Kingdom?
I think it's everything but a name.
Oh, you're right. Are we keeping it called the Magic Kingdom, or do we want to call it something more? Do you have any ideas? Because I admittedly do not.
I would love to tie it back to what we have said throughout this whole time, which is this is our fantasy park. And I know we have Fantasyland. So
But we don't really, because
yes,
we renamed
you're right.
it.
We did kind of rename we have Castle Courtyard and Fantasy Forest. I think that this could be, I feel like we could call it like Disney, like Fantasy Kingdom, or I don't know, or do we stick with just like Magic Kingdom?
That's where I was kind of leaning, but I was open to other ideas. I just, like, we don't even know what we're naming our 5-park Disney destination.
Say, maybe we need to name our other parks first and figure out like what makes the most sense, because I do have some ideas for what we name the resort as a whole. Walt Disney World is named Walt Disney World Resort. So I do have some thoughts around there which may help us, but I think we have to maybe look into the other parks too, which is probably a cop-out. But
But, you know, you can't force it on us. We don't want to, like, make a wrong decision, because this is really important and serious.
I mean, the only other name that I could come up with would be, like, Ultimate Kingdom, because this is our ultimate park. So we shall see. I don't know that we can come up with a name yet, but we've been calling it the Castle Park and the Magic Kingdom kind of back and forth, but yeah. All right, so knowing that we can't come to an agreement on that yet, should we tell everybody what's coming next?
We should.
Okay.
What is coming next? I have to remind myself.
So we are going to we've got some kind of personal stuff happening next week. And so what we're going to do next week is actually, we're just going to have kind of a fun, like girl chat where we talk our top 5 Magic Kingdoms. Our top 5 for Magic Kingdom. So, as frequent park goers, we're going to talk our top 5 attractions, restaurant/food, tips. So for those of you who have been clinging for some of that, like, insider information, we'll have that for you. And then we're also going to just chat a little bit about, like, our top 5 moments and memories from Magic Kingdom. So
Yeah, Chrissy and I were talking that we kind of want to sprinkle these types of videos into our more like deep diving and changing of our parks, just to, one, it's a lot to kind of keep up with ourselves to try to, figure out what we're doing with attractions. And sometimes it's fun to have just like a light episode. So we'll be sprinkling these in more often now. But I'm excited for that one. I love chatting, like tips and favorite things and like must tries.
Yeah, and I think I'm interested to hear what like your favorites are compared to my favorites, and also just like why. I know everybody has their favorites for different reasons, so yeah. But go ahead and share your favorites with us, and also give us your like unhinged tips and tricks, like things that you think most people don't know, or things that you just feel like you don't want to gatekeep any longer. We want to know about that too.
Yes, we do. So if it were up to us,
well, you'll just have to listen.
We sat outside on Saturday, and I had to be like I put my chair in the little kiddie pool. And
Smart.
Because of that, it was just really cold hose water. We like didn't even let the pool heat up before we went out there. And I sat there and read and got so engrossed in my book, I didn't even think about me sitting in the sun, because we put the canopy over the kids' little like blow up bouncing water park thing, because I'm more worried about them than myself. No, I've literally had melanoma, so I probably should be worried. But yeah, I didn't get really burned, but I did get some color because I went, where did 3 hours go? And I was also having some beverages too. So you also, once you start drinking enough, this is actually my tip for Disney World, especially Epcot. If you just drink enough, the heat doesn't really bother you anymore.
Yeah.
You just you're like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think that's a great tip. I think that it just applies in life in general. Lots of shit don't bother you if you drink enough. And we're gonna have to crop that as a little snippet. But I don't think we're alcoholics after all this.
I know they really are.